Hey guys, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Taylor.
Okay, hey, I just got off work. I'm just gonna drive home. It's like a couple minutes and then I'll pop on. Woo! Okay, I'll see you soon.
Yeah. Welcome everybody to this episode of BravoConfessionals. We again have Mel, Taylor, and the wonderfully handsome Ashton from Below Deck. Welcome, Ashton.
Thank you for having me.
We're happy to have you. So I have quite a few questions for you.
Anything you think we should discuss or that you would like to discuss, I'm game. Don't make me regret saying that.
One of the questions I have is that, how do you feel about last season that you were on?
It was definitely a rough season for me. I think drinking got the best of me last season. I think had I been more control of myself in terms of my drinking habits, I could have been in a much better state to handle the situations that I was in. I think that was a major thing for me. And I know the way that the whole season played out and the general consensus of what the theme of the season was. But, I think we actually did have quite a good season as a deck crew. Besides all the drama that happened between the other departments and, between Riley and things, we actually had a successful season in terms of getting the job done. We didn't have any major mess ups on deck. Captain D never had to reprimand us about jobs not being done. And it was just a pity that the whole season was kind of overshadowed with all the drama that didn't kind of carry through as a message. But, for me, it was a big learning curve. It was, a big learning curve for me personally. Looking back, I'm pretty grateful that everything happened the way it did because I've learned so much about myself and I've been able to grow so much myself through having gone through that. I always kind of explain it to people in the way that I was in a fortunate position to rewatch things I did that I wasn't happy with, and I've now got the chance to make that better or to change myself in accordance to that. Not a lot of people get to rewatch themselves being a drunken idiot and acting all dumb and doing stupid things. And I had that opportunity, and I think it would have been a major dishonor to me and the situation to have just ignored that and kind of carried on the way that I was.
Well, I have to say, and I know I'm probably in the minority here with a lot of people, but I am Team Ashton. I have always been Team Ashton.
Thank you.
Like maybe that's because I have more guy friends that I kind of get the personality, and I kind of get the understanding that like you're not really a dick. You're just it's guy talk, and I know everybody hates. But I personally, I'm used to it. That's like normal for me. So I'm never against you.
Back home, I would have been brew. Just saying.
I probably do have girlfriends, and so I didn't take anything that you really said or did really personally. I never thought it was really like against. Oh my God, the way he talks to females is so anti-female. It's like. No, when your buttons are pushed, you're going to push back. And I actually appreciated the fact that Andy, during the reunion, kind of had your side a little bit. It was kind of nice to see. I think Kate pushed a lot of people's buttons. I know I'm going to get major hate for this, but I think Kate pushed a lot of people's buttons, especially Kevin's. You're a baker at best. Like, that's harsh words to say, and I think she was hitting below the belt, and whether she said it or not, you reacted. Yes. Do I think how you reacted in the van was pretty bad? But I still think there's a good man in there. I mean, we have to go back to when you almost lost your leg. Like that season, I think set the tone for who you were. And I think this season doesn't define you.
No.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and thank you for the kind words. I think that was the biggest thing that kind of got me with this season is, regardless of what people's opinion is of me, I know who I am deep down inside, and I know what my values are, and I know the person that I am. In saying that, I do understand that my actions this season showed a different side and may have, upset people, and and pushed other people's buttons out there. And, you know, that's something I needed to consider. And even though I didn't feel that I was the person to the core that people were making me out to be, I need to take responsibility that my actions did show that to some people. And that's the opinion that it created. And I think that for me was the big thing, that even though I knew I wasn't that person, I had to take responsibility for what I had done.
We appreciate that. I mean, I feel like the world appreciates that. But so turning the tables a little bit, how did you feel? I mean, I know we're going back a couple seasons now, but like when that situation happened with when you almost died, that to me, it was like, oh my God, I love this guy.
I missed that. You cut out there for a second. I didn't get that part. So it was like the juicy bits. Whew, am I blushing?
I think we got to see a lot, unfortunately. Like we were talking to Colin recently, and he was kind of, you know, having your back in a sense of, it's kind of like that mob mentality where, you know, it's like not one person stopped the behavior. So it's kind of hard to see that what you are doing in the moment is so wrong. But I also think that there's a lot of like PC culture, and back to what Michelle was saying, it's difficult, you know, to, and we see this a lot with people that we interview. People don't understand that this does not sum up who the person is as an entire person. This is, you know, a moment in time. This is the response. You know, they had a stimulus and this would be the response to it. You know, it's not like we can absolutely say with, you know, certainty that we would have behaved differently if we were in the same situation. So it's like, it's all circumstantial, and you know, it's that one moment in time. So that does not, for some, make a person, basically. Yeah. So I struggled a lot, and I've spoken on this. I spoke about it with Colin as well as with Courtney. Pardon me, that I struggled a lot as a viewer to get through episodes because I was like gonna come through my TV. But like Michelle said, I already had a soft spot for you. So it wasn't at you. It was more like, yeah, shut up, Ashton. Anyway, Kevin, listen. Like, mine was more like, yeah, okay, whatever. Listen, I'm talking to you, Kevin, you know, and it was more like, I think that we all just sort of, it's hard to not group you guys together like that when it comes to response. But I definitely think that given what we saw the season prior, it was like, it was hard to see you like that. But then again, you know, we know you. It's all good.
I think it's also like, was like he was a product of his environment.
So,
you know, to kind of add to what you ladies are saying, you know, I always compare my first season to this last season. And, you know, the season with Ross and Josiah and Laura and the old gang, I kind of felt it was more of a positive group of people. And I felt that, you know, even with the dramas of Chandler early on and with the dramas of Riley, I still kind of felt that the majority of the season we had this camaraderie between us, and we were all working towards a good season, you know. I kind of just felt like the minute I stepped on Kate's toes a bit when I called out in front of the captain, or the minute some things kind of went sour, it was now the mission of people to make it a living hell for everybody on that boat. And I just felt after that season, I was so drained and so exhausted, because you always had to just watch what you were saying or what you were doing. And I just felt like, you know, in yachting in general, you want to be a crew that gets along for the greater good of the charter. And you're living in close quarters, you're under massive amounts of stress. The last thing you want to be doing is fighting with your crew members. And in the real yachting world, you know, people that don't get along in the crew, people get fired and people get rotated out, because that crew morale is so important. Owners of boats do not want to be dealing with fights between crew. And that's a big difference that I feel with Below Deck as a TV show is, you know, their recipe is put people together with conflicting personalities, you know, get them to go out and drink, and you're kind of adding fuel to all these little fires that are happening. And I think, I just feel like it was just a very negative season, and it was very draining, and it kind of put a very bad taste in my mouth towards just the whole situation, really, because it was just, you know, I know I was in a lot of the conflict and things, but I'm not a person that likes to deal with negativity and drama. You know, I like happiness in my life, and I like getting along with people. And I would much rather just have a friendly chat with somebody and try and like nip an issue in the bud than be vindictive and go behind people's backs and try and make you know, mountains out of molehills. And like, you know, when I realized I had done things wrong throughout the season, especially with Kate, and if I, you know, regretted some things I did, my first reaction was to go and sit and apologize to someone and try and get down to, you know, why did this situation happen and how can we make it better? You know, throughout the whole season, I was the one apologizing, like during the season. And I felt like a lot of these issues that were made so massive later on in the media, in terms of on Twitter and Instagram and things, why were they not dealt with like during the season? Why did we not deal with them as adults in the situation? When I went and approached people and spoke to them about things that had happened, why did you not tell me what had happened previously? Obviously, I was drunk, and if it was such a big thing for you on, you know, what I did, then talk to me about it as an adult and let's sort it out. Because you know what, that's real life. I don't have an issue with one of you and then I'll wait until something gets aired on TV for me to go and have a go at you on social media. For like, I don't live that life. And I think that's another thing that just got to me, you know. Captain Lee as well, you know, we had such a good relationship in during the season, and okay, granted he didn't see a lot of what happened, but I just felt like he kind of jumped on this bandwagon of slating everybody and abusing everybody on Twitter instead of being the leader and seeing a different side. You know, he's there with us experiencing everything. If anything, he could have given a very different perspective and a different side to not back us up, just to offer that different perspective as a leader and as a captain. But he bullied all of us on Twitter, and I just really didn't appreciate that. And I think my point is that, you know, I'm not that type of person. I hate that type of animosity between people. It's just not the person I am, and I don't vibe well in those situations. And it was a very like tough period of me to go through in my life. It was very tough for me to deal with all these things. It was just very ugly, and yeah.
How long after the? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead,
How was your reunion experience? Because watching that was really hard from both sides. So we just talked to Courtney, and you know, I told her, I was like, it felt like she was getting her chance to fully like express how she was feeling throughout the season. But like, how was that for you? Because it almost felt like maybe you guys weren't, as a viewer, maybe you guys weren't ready to be slammed like that. It was like you were in a hole. How do you get out? You know?
You know, it was so tough, and I don't know if it came across on the reunion, but you know, we had set out to record for an hour or an hour and a half at max. We were there for between 3 and 4 hours because everything that was said, or everything that we try to say, or anything that Andy asked, the girls would just butt in and like literally just have a go at us. And I struggled to get like full sentences across, and I struggled to keep one train of thought, because I would start saying something and they'd jump in like, oh, and this, and what about this, and what about that? And I'm like, I had to honestly sit there and concentrate and just try and concentrate on the message that I was trying to get across, and to try and get my say across. And it was really a mission to not react to the level of emotion that the girls were bringing and throwing at us. You know, I really had to sit there and just control myself and stay level-headed and stay calm and not go to the level that they were getting at. I think, you know, watching the season through, they felt like they had a lot of ammunition that they could throw at us, because they had obviously built up a lot of support. And, you know, the season did look pretty bad for us guys, which I understand. So I feel like they were just kind of sitting there waiting for us to say the wrong thing, or just say it in the wrong way that they could attack us. So it was tough. And again, it was very draining, and it was very challenging to just, you know, sit there and have to always be on the defense and have to choose your words so like carefully and not say things or react or get emotional. So the reunion was tough. For the most part, I was pretty happy with how it went. You know, I said what I had to say, and, you know, at the end of the day, I was honest, I was truthful, and I was raw. Like, you know, this whole season kind of stripped me back completely. You know, whatever ego I had at the beginning of the season throughout kind of got just stripped away. And there was such a good feeling to actually sit there and and not have to feel embarrassed or feel ashamed. You know, I'd gone through that feeling of feeling embarrassed and ashamed, and all I could do from that moment on was be better. And it was actually such a good feeling. So I'm glad I could say my say, and you know, I must say I also had a very big change in communication from fans and people on Instagram. I'd got a lot of hate leading up to the reunion, and obviously following what had happened throughout the season. After the reunion, I got nothing but love from people, and like overwhelming amounts of people just giving support and encouragement to me, and people that had, you know, sent me hate mail before, afterwards had actually said to me, you know what, well done, like you spoke well, we kind of see where you're coming from, or like just, you know, congratulating me on the way that I handled myself. And that was really cool, because I kind of felt like it was my last kind of time to stand up for myself or have my say, and I think for the most part I could get that across, which was cool.
I definitely think I actually remember that about the reunion, is that I felt like the guys were just sitting there kind of silent most of the time, and it was a lot of the girls talking, but you guys weren't really that much of an opportunity to like kind of refute it. And even when you did, you asked Captain Lee, you said, "Can Kate do any wrong in your eyes?" And he wasn't able to give that answer. And that's how I always saw it, is that like, no matter what Kate did, Captain Lee will always have her back. Like when she locked Kevin out of his own galley, you didn't hear a word about that. But yeah. I felt like it was shown that you guys showed a little bit more couth. Reserve. And yeah, absolutely. And the girls were just attacking. But, you know, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I saw a different side.
And that's the thing about it too, is that just like in that moment, you know, people react differently to things. It's like we as viewers, you know, we interpret things differently, and the responses don't always have to be the right ones in someone else's eyes. So it's like, you know, you and I, Michelle, we're you know, familiar, and Taylor hangs out with boys too, and you know, we're all married, and you know, we all have these guys that come around us that say things in a certain way, and you've got to you know, I mean, you spit something at me and I'm going to come back with, it's probably because you're a loser. You know, I mean, you just got to read the tone of the room and find the ability, especially with the amount of time that you guys are spending together in close quarters. Don't find that as an opportunity to make issue out of everything. Find that as an opportunity to build friendships and you know, enjoy your time there. So, you know, instead of taking everything so seriously, maybe try and, you know, have a little bit more of a good time, and not be so serious. Don't take yourself so seriously.
Which I have to say, Riley only came through on my TV one night a week, and I was over her. Like, there is no way this chick would. She just has this personality that no matter what you say, she wants to be very combative.
On that note, Ashton, do you talk to anyone else from the crew at all?
I must say lately everybody's gone a little bit quiet, which is kind of expected the lates on yet, you know, from the season being over. But I do check in with Tanner as well as Brian and Kevin every now and then. Simone kind of leading up to the reunion, we chat like every now and then, but that's about it. Not really anybody else. I still keep in contact with most of the crew from the previous season though,
yeah.
Which I think, you know, paints the picture pretty well. But we kind of all just doing our own thing, you know, we're kind of just getting on with life. I think, you know, all of us have had our individual struggle through the season, you know, all of the guys and the girls themselves. And I think it's not really a season we want to hold, you know, we don't hold any dear memories from the season. So it's not like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like we've got this bad energy around the season. So it's kind of like we just go our own ways, really.
I had to detox from the season, so.
No, it was just intense. It was just so intense.
Dude, it was just so, I described it, I think, perfectly. I wrote a comment somewhere one day. I was really on one. But I wrote something once and I said, you know, I'm dealing with this asshole in front of my face. I was talking about my husband. Love him dearly, but sometimes I'm like, get out of my face, man. And you know, I had a newborn at the time. She was an infant. So it was like, doing all this stuff. So every once in a while, I get to watch, my shows, my crap TV. So I was like, I get to watch this, show with beautiful people and, in beautiful settings. And then it just turned super tense. So I was like, well, but I mean, I already started it. Like, I can't stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to not watch it. So.
Yeah. But that's the thing, I think Below Deck used to be about that. It's, people would watch for the setting and see what we got up to. And it was a lifestyle kind of exotic type of show. And it kind of just changed into this housewives drama between everybody. Now it's more about tune in to find out what the next fight is about or like what the next situation is.
Well, listen, if anyone, we interviewed Jenna from this season of Below Deck, and bad talk is great for us. Just keep watching, even if you hate us, just watch. But so she gets a lot. Like, she is just nobody cares what anyone else did on the boat. It's all about Jenna. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I love Kate as a viewer, but we cannot forget. I almost want to like hashtag never forget Carol Badal. Like, never forget Carolyn Badal when she like locked her in a room and like did all of that really gross stuff to her. That for me was kind of like a snap of like, this is really bad. And we are recording it and we are celebrating this. And that's gross. Like, we need to step away from the cameras, restructure, figure out what we're doing with this show. What is its purpose? Because, and then we had this season with y'all, and I was like, all right, I'm fucking forget it. Like, everyone just, I'm over it. So then this season on Below Deck Sailing Yacht, we just had some crappy relationship thing. So, it was like a little more toned down, but I just think, yeah, you're right. It just starts to become more of like this housewives drama that as a person would, be really difficult to recover from, because the internet is not nice. So it's like, how do I prove to you? Why do I feel like I need to prove to you? And then secondly, how do I prove to you that I'm not like some monster? So
yeah, like, to add to what you're saying, I get so many people commenting on, you can, first of all, people say that I need to apologize and accept the behavior of me this season. And then I get people saying that it's not good enough for me just to apologize. I need to change. So then my question back that I never asked, that I'm saying to myself, like, I've apologized numerous times for my behavior. Like, after viewing it, like, I went onto Instagram and I did a video. I had apologized to Kate personally through text message. I apologized to Kate at the reunion, but then I still get people saying to me that I'm not acknowledging my behavior. And then people ask me, how are you changing? Or they don't even ask me how I'm changing. They're just saying that I'm not changing. And I'm like, but you haven't seen me in the past 8 months to a year. You don't know what changes I've made. You don't know what I'm doing in my life. Like, how can you just throw out judgments like that? Like, you've seen how many weeks of me on TV, which is little snippets of a full season. You're throwing this judgments at me, and you actually don't know anything about me or my life or about what changes I'm making. And it's just, it is like, it's tough because people throw these names at you and they throw this judgment at you. And it's just to add to what you're saying, the internet is a really terrible place.
And the thing, I know Mel has said this before, when people watch these shows, it's like they think that they're watching them live. Like, this is happening right now. They don't realize that this could have been filmed like a year ago. And
I will say this again. What Taylor's talking about, I posted in a group once. I asked, how could you change? And they were like, quit. She could just quit. And I'm like, okay, but like, it's over.
It's over. It's been filmed.
Exactly.
We're done.
It's been over. Yeah. Okay, all right, I'll let her know y'all need her to quit. Like, I don't know.
So Ashton,
yeah.
talk to the cameraman.
Brent and I also, we check in with each other every now and then. But I mean, we don't have constant chats. It was pretty cool doing another season with him on board this last season. I think there was a lot of like breaking of the fourth wall rule between him and I. Like I'd fist pump him when I walked past the camera or something like that. But it was cool. Like, you know, I also felt a bit of safety knowing that he was around, and you know, just knowing that that's the kind of caliber of staff that they had on the tech crew, on the camera crew. You know, people that were capable of handling themselves in situations like that was really cool. But yeah, Brent will always obviously have a very special place in my life, in my heart. You know, he knows how grateful that I am for him, and we check in with each other every now and then, and no doubt if we're in the same states or countries at the same time, we'll definitely get together.
Yeah, you got to have people that are willing to be like, this $1 million camera, I'm gonna save him.
Yeah. I mean, that was a big thing, you know, like I don't think people realize that they are under strict contracts on not to get involved with situations, and he completely broke the rules of his contract to save my life in that situation. You know, he made a judgment call in that moment, you know,
to be a human,
to save me or keep his job, kind of thing. So, you know, I'm extremely grateful for him. Yeah.
Yeah, we are too. I am too.
Thank you.
Okay. Has anybody told you look like Patrick Swayze?
Yes.
Michelle.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I do get that a lot.
You just ruined everything for me and Val Kilmer.
Every time I see you, I see Patrick Swayze, and I just want to dirty dance with you all night.
You just want to carry some watermelon.
I'd love to dirty dance with you.
I bet you he could do the lift, girl. I'm just saying.
I wish I got.
There's actually a picture There's a picture on my Instagram of me doing that lift.
There we go.
We could do it.
Heads up, you're actually going to be able to talk to you because I probably would have lost 100 pounds.
I didn't catch that again. I missed
Keep breaking up, Michelle.
I don't know. I'm at my mother-in-law's house.
It's kismet. Your mother-in-law is plotting against your hall pass.
I got kicked out. My kids, I don't know. But if I would known, if I had gotten a little bit more of a heads up that we were going to meet today, I probably would have lost 100 pounds. Just saying.
They're insane.
So, what are you doing? What are you up to now?
So before I came to South Africa, I had plans of starting an online coaching business. You know, pretty much the last year, I've been kind of questioning what it is that I really want to do. And, you know, people always say, just go back to your passions and what is it that you enjoy doing. And, you know, people also say you got to find your dharma in terms of how can you help, what is your purpose, and your purpose should be helping other people. So I'll kind of circled back to that. Health and fitness is my passion, and it's something that I want to do. And, you know, I want to be able to help people and transform their bodies and transform their lives. So before I came to South Africa, it was a goal of mine to start my online coaching business. But I was still working on a yacht at that current time. And with me getting stuck under lockdown conditions here in South Africa, it really gave me the time to put in the effort that I needed to get this business up and running. And in the last month, I've taken on, you know, a lot of clients, and it's really just kicked off so awesomely, and I'm really getting good results with my clients. And it's done so well that I'm at the point that I won't be able to work on a yacht because I just can't give 16 hours of my day to another family on their holiday.
Awesome.
You know, I've got that many clients that I now need to invest all my time into them. And the service that I offer is really bespoke and really tailor-made. So it's very demanding of my own time. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I'm 100% invested into this business. It's doing really well, and I'm getting some great results and building some awesome relationships with my clients, and ultimately just, you know, changing their lives, which is what makes me feel good right now.
Well, you work with American clients?
He does.
So, my only clients are from America. So I've got American,
well, sign me up.
American, Canadian, and Australian right now.
I mean,
so how do people find you if they were looking for you? How do people get in touch with you?
So right now, Instagram is pretty much my main tool. I'm very active on there, and I do keep a good eye on my DMs. So if anybody wants to start a conversation, Instagram is the way to go. Because it is a very new business, I am still working on websites and things like that. So they will be launched over the next few
Hey,
weeks.
if you need help, I can help you with the website.
Okay, cool.
Taylor's everything. But I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I am also in that field and doing a similar sort of, I mean, I don't want to say anything, but just saying I'm more. No, I used to be super buff, but I start back in the gym tomorrow. But I do the same thing with I don't currently take on clients or anything, but recently I was like, just do it, Mel. Just do it. Yeah. It's what you love. It's what you're obsessed with. So. Yeah, I do the same stuff. It's very, very fulfilling. So I feel you on that.
Fantastic. That's very cool.
Well,
no more questions. Come on, guys.
Okay, let's just keep it going.
What toothpaste do you use?
So I use Sensodyne.
Okay, so you have sensitive gums. All right.
That's the business. No, Sensodyne is not just for sensitive gums. You listen here, Taylor. I'm going to tell you what. It's also for people who want really, really super amazing, healthy, and white teeth. Thank you.
Exactly. Do you use Sensodyne too?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
See, these are the spitfire questions people need to know.
Yeah, rapid fire. Let's do it.
Do you have any pets?
No, I don't think he has a pet. Glenn, do you have pets?
Yeah. So Glenn's got 2 cats.
Nice.
Oh.
And the one sleeps in my bed at night, so it's kind of like my pets.
Glenn,
actually getting these days.
Glenn, you're a cat guy. Girls dig that, man.
Yeah, so look, I can't have any of my own pets because I'm always traveling. So but I am an animal lover. Like growing up, I've always had dogs. I'm more of a dog guy than a cat guy, but I have grown to like cats as well.
I don't know if you are old enough to know about this, but you can have a pet in your pocket. It's called a Tamagotchi.
Yes, I know about those. I remember those from school, and I never had one myself, so
we'll have to get you on.
I can't with myself. Okay, move on. Everybody else do it.
So, being in South Africa right now, are you totally on shutdown still, or like what?
So we're on a 5-level phase back to normality, with 5 being complete lockdown. We are currently on level 3, so we still have quite a while to go. But our level 3 just started today, so a lot of the normal operations have kind of gone back to normal. But I think our borders are only going to open at level 1, which could be end of July or August. But there is some talk about borders only being open next year, so I really don't know.
Wow. What is it?
What was that?
We're all still shut down in here in the United States, but especially in New Jersey. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're wide open over here, man. We're like,
hey, you've been watching the news. You see what's happening in America right now. As a South African, can I ask you this? Like, is that an okay question to ask? Like, isn't it crazy as somebody not from America to turn on the news and be like, what is happening over there? I don't know. That's what I feel.
It's just crazy that we've gone from the attention all being on coronavirus and the whole world's just trying to repair from the damage that's caused, and it's just like this new major eruption that's happened. So it's crazy, it's crazy. Honestly, I don't want to give too much opinion and talk about the individual aspects of what's going on.
Right.
We have to all be so careful with what we say and how we say it. So I'm not going to say anything, but I don't support racism in any way. Coming from South Africa, a lot of our history is based on racism as well. I don't support racism in any way, and I also don't support violence in any way. So there's a lot of that going on, and I just hope that people can resolve this in a civil way.
People just need to learn to be kind. I don't know why it's so hard. I just want that's me. I hippie, but it's fine.
The thing is, and I mean, I think the same philosophy can be carried through to my season in Below Deck is we are all very different people with different upbringings, with different values. And although I might not agree with somebody, there is always a different perspective and there's always a different opinion and there is always somebody else's feelings. And we need to all just become more aware of that and more, just like you say, just kind to each other and just more accepting of different opinions and different ways of thinking.
Yeah, realizing that everybody's feelings are valid. That's like if I could have a soapbox for one issue, it's that everybody's feelings are valid. Do you agree with their feelings? Maybe not. But that doesn't mean that they're not feeling that. And I think people have a real problem with empathy. But.
Exactly, for sure.
Yeah, I tell that to my husband every day. Damn it. But so for our viewers, Ashton, are you single or are you taken?
I am single.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that because now Michelle and I are like, what the?
I did just recently come out of a pretty amazing relationship, and it was really just circumstantial that we've split up. We are still very good friends. We still chat, but yeah, I am single and single to mingle.
Hey, heard it here first.
Yep, y'all heard it right here. But don't DM him your dick pics. That's unwarranted. That is not right.
No, that's not cool. Please don't. No more.
No more.
We're putting a stop.
Well, so much for joining us. This was a lot of fun, and we really appreciate you taking the time to actually get to know us and talk to us. And I think it was really nice that you opened other people's eyes to who you really are.
I appreciate that, and thank you for allowing me to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, we're just here, man. You can call us anytime.
I was just gonna say, I really enjoyed this. If you want to chat tomorrow
honestly,
at 12 p.m., let's do it.
So we got on one time with Anastasia, and we got on chat with her, and I think we talked about Below Deck for like 0.5 seconds, and then we were straight up into like sex toys. Her mom found her sex toy on the table, and it like we lost it.
I did see that clip.
Did you watch that?
But she's like our fourth member, so you can be like our 4.5. I won't call you 5 because that's not as close as 4.5. So you're like our 4.5.
Awesome. I'll happily be your guys' 4.5.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome, and thank you so much. It was fun.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
I'm ready if you're ready. So much love in this heart of mine.